All right, guys. Talking in between about your most memorable days at the races, now you started to tell me a story. I didn't expect it to be the type of story that you're about to tell us.
Yeah, we had a very, very unfortunate incident last year. It upsets me to talk about it actually, but I will. I was racing at Salisbury with Lucy, and David had gone to Chester with Gavin, our son, and Harriet, his fiance. So we have two pitches at Chester, so that's why he has staff up there. So I'd found out that Chester had been abandoned. So I tried phoning Dave because I looked at the results and there was an 11-1 shot won the first. And I think it was abandoned after the third or fourth
Yeah,
race.
next two favourites.
Yeah, next two favourites won. And I thought, oh dear, he's had a bad day. Now he's been abandoned. And I rang him and there was no reply, which is quite unusual when we're racing separately. Anyway, he did ring me back and I got off the front of the stand and took his call. And I said to him, well, you must have had a bad start to the day with two favourites winning. He said, yeah, I lost on the first and I lost on the second and the third. I said, and then it was abandoned. He said, yeah. He said, and then I lost the lot. So I said, what do you mean you lost the lot? So he said, I've lost the lot, Jane. So I said, you've had it stolen, haven't you? And he said, yes, I have. Well, me being me, and I'm very emotional, I burst into tears, and that didn't suit Dave because, you know, he needed my support, not... Anyway, I pulled myself together, and I'll let you carry on telling the story, what happened.
Yeah, I mean, to this day, so we had issues with the computer, so we had issues with the signal, and the two pitches were linked. And I'd obviously taken my eye off the ball because it was flipping in and out, and I was leaving the pitch to go and get the RDT guys. I'd taken money because we'd lost. I'd had to take money out of the float to give to Gavin and his partner on each joint, and I'd done it 2 or 3 times and pushed it. So in the end, I moved to the second pitch and pushed it in behind the battery. Stupid lesson learned, but it was a expensive lesson. 2 things out of it. Jane didn't ever want to go back to Chester after that, and she said, why don't we just sell the pitches? I don't want to go there. Chester Racecourse would have been absolutely fantastic. And I think the guy's name is Paddy Chester or Paddy
Chester's.
And I got nothing but admiration. He contacted us. He was empathetic. He was sympathetic. He was great. And he asked us to go back and not to walk away from there. He looked at our record on our attendance and offered us a bit of support for the rest of the season, and then came out and met us and made sure everything was good. They were wonderful. I had to leave the track and go up on the wall to be interviewed by the police when the incident happened. So I went out with Gavin and we walked out, explained to the security what was going on, and we went and had an interview with the police. I came back a quarter of an hour later and they wouldn't let me back in the track. You can't write it, can you? They wouldn't no, people aren't. I said, I've just gone anyway. So that was that one. On the Monday, I was at work, and on the Monday at about 3:30, I had a phone call from security and the police. And the police said, look, I got some news for you. He said, the bad news is you'll never get your money back. That's gone. He said, the good news is we've got the person that's done it. So I said, I'm happy, I'm pleased, I really, really am pleased that you've got... He said, yeah. He said, there's a guy stood on your joint, black coat. He said, 30, early 30s, he said, and he's got money in his hand. I said, yeah, that's my son. So that was that. So he said, okay, we'll keep looking. So he's phoned back now, half an hour later, and he said to me, okay, mate, he said, we got him this time. He says, a woman. He said, we got a woman. I said, yeah, that's my... He's drawn a picture of her. I said, yeah, that's my son's girlfriend. I said, okay. So, yeah, so nothing ever came. Again, the West of England Bookmakers Association, everybody on the racetrack was absolutely lovely, you know, showing sympathy, came up, shook our hands. They had a bit of a whip round in our association, and it just made a very, very sad thing and a, you know, ridiculous sort of thing. It softened the blow then. And we never have the money back. We knew that. But it was people's kindness and thoughts was tremendous. and
Somebody, just to clarify, somebody actually just went in and saw you put it there and then nicked it when they had the opportunity.
Must have done so. Again, I don't know. To this day, I pitched something on top of the battery, which is the hub. And when I'd got back, RDT were there, and I said to him, well, I can see why it's not working. The hub's on the floor. And then the sort of penny starts dropping because I knew it shouldn't have been there.
So that aside, have there ever been any incidents, that's terrible what's happened to you there, but have there ever been any incidents that have made you seriously consider giving the game up?
No.
Or bad runs even, is it?
I tell you what, yeah, funny you should say that. When I'm working, okay, and I've gone to point at Cothelstone, and we were having a bad run, and it started eating into the monthly wage, okay, and there was a 33-1 winner down at Cothelstone, and it won, and they're all screaming it, and we've laid it. And we've laid it, and I did. I remember that day saying to Jane, do you want me to give it up?
But we didn't, and we're still here.
Have there ever been any honest punters, I'm talking about now, that have had you over the years that were hard to beat, that you think he never backs a loser, that fella, but you keep laying him, I suppose?
Yeah, you do, because you always think you're going to beat him, don't you? We're a greedy lot as bookmakers.
I can't remember one in particular, can you?
No, I can't.
Okay, now, this is another story I want you to relate to me, Dave, because I know about it, but I think other people should know about it as well. Somebody that you were employing ended up sat naked at the bar at the Comfort Inn Arundel while his bed was on fire. You better take that one up.
I reckon you came up for dinner one night there, Simon. Johnny Purcell was a bookmaker. He was in partnership with Johnny Yo, and we got very, very friendly with them. Johnny Purcell, I think I'm quite at liberty to say, was probably an alcoholic. And we would go to the same hotel every year, and it was called a Comfort Inn. Jane nicknamed it the Discomfort Inn, okay? But the reason we went back year upon year was because the guy that owned it would let us play up, and they could drink, and the kids, Lucy and Gavin, we'd be gone to bed, and they would still be drinking at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And he would wait. When he knew we were coming, he would be stood outside the hotel on a Tuesday evening to welcome us to his establishment. So one of the stories is he kept saying, when we turned up, we organised, so he'd say to him, tonight, Dave, you will eat at my restaurant.
You came.
So I'm saying, yeah, okay. Well, we looked at the menu, and the kids, they wanted to go down into Arundel, into the nice restaurants. So I said, no, we've already booked in. So on the Wednesday morning, I got up for breakfast. Tonight, Dave, you will eat at my restaurant. So I said, that same on the Thursday, tonight. So I said, look, I need to be honest with you. Thank you. It's really, really kind. We'll have a drink with you. But the kids, they like their fillet steaks. You will have fillet steak. So I think I agreed that we'd eat. And I think, so there must have been about 14 or 16 of us. And he sat down and ate dinner with us, and we all had a lovely, lovely meal. He was sat there advising me what wine I should have with pâté and what wine I should have. And when the bill came, I said to him, right, we'll settle up, how much is it? And blah, blah. And he said, oh, no, this is on me. So I think that reflects what we were spending a night in his establishment. Well, Johnny Purcell, going back to Johnny Purcell, he would drink until sunlight. He would drink. So this night, he's there and he's drinking. Everybody's gone to bed. And Johnny Purcell has eventually gone to bed. So he's smoking. He's in a non-smoking room, and he's smoking in his room. And he's caught the mattress on fire. So he's put the mattress out, and he's gone out into the corridor. And the door is slammed behind him. So he's gone down to reception. The poor kid in reception can only see him from his waist up.
No, I think that was not a poor kid.
Yeah, can only see him from his waist up. So he's explained that he's locked himself out of his bedroom. So the kid said, I'll get you the key. So he said, well, while you're there, get me a pint of cider as well. So he's gone to the bar next door, and John's perched himself on the bar stool at reception. And with that, somebody comes in through the door with their suitcase. A couple walked in through the door, and John raises his glass and he said, it's naturist.
Oh dear, he's a character. Right, we're getting to the end of this now. A couple of questions for you here. Do you think that bookmakers and betting rings are as appreciated by racecourses as much as they are by race goers?
I can answer that and just say, no, I don't think the racecourses really want us there. And I think that's why they make it, not all of them, I will say, that's why they make it awkward for us. Some are really helpful and let us in to unload our cars. Other ones, we have to park such a long way away and drag all our gear. And you know how much gear we got, Si. And I just think they try and make it difficult for us. And I really don't think they want us there at all. They would rather have their own tote.
But I think they'd find out to their detriment.
I think they would.
And I'd agree with you, Simon. I really do think. I think the amount of people that come, and like Jane mentioned earlier on, how we got our regular punters now, and they want to beat you. They're not in a nasty way. They turn up with their money and they want to go home with a bit more. No problem with that. And it's a little battle of wits, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they enjoy the camaraderie. And like you say, Jane's there on the stool having a laugh. I'm on the stool, and it builds on their day. And I agree. I do think a lot of these race courses feel they can survive. They can manage that. I think it would take a lot away from people's day out at the races if you didn't have your on-course bookmakers.
And I get people coming up at the end of the day saying, thank you so much for a lovely day. You've helped made our day. And if I can do that, why would they take the bookmakers away?
Yeah. Now, finally, you've mentioned your son Gavin, your daughter Lucy several times. Lucy was the youngest female licence holder at one point. Gambling's getting a bad rap these days. It's almost like a dirty word. The racing's trying to shove it under the carpet. It might surprise people that you were quite happy for your very young family to be involved with the game when it's seen as less than wholesome pastime by some people in the industry. I mean, what would you say about that?
I would say I'm chuffed. I was really, really pleased, immensely proud when Lucy got her licence. She had a lot of profile. You had Channel 4 interviewing. She was on the television with Betfred. We went to Ascot and Tanya Stevens interviewed her. She was very competent. She was very, very good at it. And I'm hoping that she'll come back and take over the business as we get older. I think it relates back to the 1960s almost, doesn't it? When it was all backstreet bookmakers. And a bookmaker was a dirty word, wasn't it? And I think sometimes people do think like that. We apply the rules. Jane is very strict on the under 18s, and we're chuffed that they want to do it. It doesn't tick Gavin's box. He's got no interest whatsoever to do it.
Unless he could have a day off school.
Oh yeah, unless he could have had a day off
When
school.
we were allowed to take them then.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're I'm glad. I'm pleased that I think Jane's the same. It's
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
We're very, very proud when she's up there, making her book on her own, just as I am with Jane when they go off on their own and they're confident, competent, representing the family is good. I've not got an issue with it at all.
And finally, I mean, you're certainly not alone being family bookmakers. There are, when all the buying and selling came in, there was a lot of people that were going to come in and make a fortune and show everybody how to do it. But there are a lot of the bookmakers are still family orientated. So, I mean, how do you see the future? Could it be a full-time family business going forward?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
Yeah.
Go on. No, you carry on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do think at the moment, I do think it's on the decline a bit. I think with the credit card, with the card that they want to go cashless, don't they? And I think that element will take the fun away from the punter who likes to count his £120 in £10 notes rather than have it paid directly into his bank account. So that is a worry for me. I hope we're in a recession. Money's going to be tight, isn't it? We just got to hope it doesn't squeeze too tight in what we do.
Okay, well, Jane and Dave Hazel, people can come and meet you personally all over the place, especially in the summer in the south. So get in the betting ring and find you two. And thanks very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank
Pleasure,
you, Simon.
Thank you.